What is up, guys? Tyler here from We Are The Random. Today, pulling out another video. So, if you have a mod, you have probably a tank like this. Oh yeah, I forgot, we're joined by
Hey, I'm back!
Yeah, and then we have Jay from Snake Division. Anyway, so, if you have a mod, most likely you have a tank. Well, I mean, you have to have something to put the juice in, but you have one of these nice tanks. Now, for those of you that know how they work, you'll understand that your coil in the inside will eventually burn out. So for those of you that may not understand, or you're just getting into it, and you want to figure out how the heck it works, so this is a standard tank. This is a Vape Mons mesh. It's basically a Prince tank. It can fit Prince coils, which is what we have today. So basically how it works is you have bottom half, you have the coil that screws into it, the top that screws onto that, your glass, and then the drip tip. So I'm gonna take this apart, I'm gonna clean it, show you all the different parts, and we'll be back to put a new coil in. Alright, so figured I'd just do a quick run through on how to take these apart. So, of course, you got your drip tip on the top, take that out. I've already unscrewed this. You have your bottom section. This is where it meets up in your mod. Most of them will have a connecting tip there. Oh wait, you have your glass. If you're lucky, you get actual glass. Then you have to be careful, and that's what this little rubber band is for, is to make sure that it doesn't break. Then you have your coil. So let's go ahead and unscrew that. So some tanks will have this little weird thing here that screws onto the top of the coil. Some of them don't. It just depends on how much you paid for it and the quality. So if you look at the bottom here, you'll see this little elbow looking thing. That is what touches on the bottom of this, which transfers through here and to the mods. Basically how it works is you have this section on your mod. Alright? The electricity goes through that to this, heats this up, and the juice in the cotton is then vaporized and sent up the center, which is hollow, and that's how you inhale it. That's basically how it works. Now RDAs, which is the ones that you have to build yourself, we'll be doing a video for that eventually. You have to actually put the cotton in yourself. You got to put the little coils in yourself. Annoying as hell, but...
Use mine as an example since I just changed mine out.
Yeah. Is it an example for what?
I've already changed it out to my tri-mesh coil.
Yeah, so he got a tri-mesh. So what we're using today is the V12 Prince mesh coils. I have dual mesh. I didn't know the vape shop here had tri-mesh, otherwise I would have gotten that. Shut up.
There's also clothes yesterday, so you wouldn't have
primary coil and all that.
So today we're going to be using Kaboom.
Boom!
Very good flavor. What is it, like watermelon and...
It's watermelon and kiwi.
Yeah, watermelon and kiwi. Smells really good.
But it's only available here, though.
That's alright.
Okay.
So...
actually, they're in other states, too.
Will you shut up?
No, Zach.
I can't Whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, so... the new coil, you're going to get it in like this little package. You just go to your shop, tell them what kind of tank you have, and they'll get you sorted out. Now, there are different kinds. Some of them may have 3 little wraps in there. Some may have 4. Some may have like 6. Or just 1. All depends on what you want. So here's a fresh coil. All right, see how it's all nice, it's white, it's shiny. Here's a burned used coil. Big difference, right? Pretty nasty.
Show them the fill line.
Yeah. So on this one there is a fill line. I actually didn't know that, so probably been burning the top half of my coil for the last who knows how long. Now if you look inside there, you see that little little meshing? That is what heats the cotton with the juice. Now, new coils, you do have to prime them, and it takes like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'd let mine sit for 20 just to be safe.
Yeah.
I was like,
So,
did you just throw away the good one back?
yeah. Whoops! No. So, basically, how you prime your coils, you want to take your juice.
And on all the open cotton spots.
Yeah, and then just as easy as that.
Do it like 4 or 5 times per spot.
Yeah. Definitely.
Now, another thing I would suggest, you could either fill it up after you've done all the outside edges and just let it sit for like another 30 minutes and let it absorb all the juice it can, or do what we do, which will speed up the process a little. You can take the juice, go on the inside, be careful, try not to get it in spots. Like, let me see this real quick. So on this, you do not want to try and get it on this outer metal. Just try and get it on the inside. You can get it on the mesh, that's fine, but let it sit and soak, because there will be juice on that.
Right.
It will burn a little, but that's just how it starts.
Yep. So we're gonna make it simple. We're gonna skip the whole 15-minute wait because that would just be boring. But for now, I'm gonna clean out the other parts of the tank and show you guys how to reassemble it. So when you clean these, you really want to get it all nice and dry. Make sure you get all the nasty crap juice out. You see all the brown in there? That's old juice that wasn't burned. Now, make sure when you're tightening this stuff, you crank it, because leaks are not, yeah, leaks.
Make sure your seals are good and everything.
Leaks are not good, especially if it's in your pocket or you're trying to hide it or something. I don't know.
Y'all try to hide it. I just hope it don't open in my pocket.
Yeah. So as you can see here, you have a rubber O-ring right there. You also have one on the bottom of the coil here.
Okay, bacon.
And then one right here. That, and then also one here. That's what keeps your glass on and what keeps the coil sealed. Well, I missed that completely on the trash can. Let's see. So, I'm going to clean, thank you, clean the glass. It's always good to clean this, everything, even the drip tip.
Yes. Drip tip will collect dirt.
So, there is interestingly enough, the drip tip, if it's not cleaned, will affect the flavor and performance of the vape. It may not seem like it.
It barely does much, but
it actually...
Especially if you got burnt juice that builds up on it.
Yep.
Right.
Alright, so clean this top part here, get down in there, make it all nice and pretty. Okay, so best way to assemble this type. You want to take your coil, and you're going to screw it onto that top part first. Crank it, alright, tighten it down really well. Then you're going to take... Yeah, try not to break your glass. Most tanks, if you buy one, will come with spare glass.
Still wouldn't suggest it.
But just be careful, because you can easily your fingers get slippery from the juice or water if you're cleaning this. You do want to rinse these sometimes, the metal, not the coils. So just be careful with it. So you see, that fits on right there.
It will try and bounce off because there's a rubber.
Yep, then you take the bottom and start screwing that on. It's always better to put the coil on this top section first, because then it helps to crank it down.
And make sure it's secure.
Yep. Now, tighten it. And tighten with these top parts here, not the glass, or you will squeeze hard enough and break it. It's not like window glass or whatever, not the strong stuff. It will break. So, then, push your drip tip on.
Fill it with juice and let it sit.
Yep. And that's
about it.
Should be. Are we missing anything?
No, you've so far hit every point.
Yeah. So be careful when you're filling it with juice. You can overflow, and that's
especially
bad.
on these mesh mons.
Yep. Don't spill your juice everywhere. That's really nasty to clean up.
I know. I did it like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I forgot we had an open thing of juice, and I bumped it, and it went everywhere.
Yep.
So this room smells very fruity right now.
Yep. Let's see.
Fruity
here.
like all the gay guys.
So we will be posting more videos soon. We did have a request to do a review on the Jewel. Unfortunately, that may take a little bit because
we're broke high
we're
school.
broke, and they want $50 for a kit. which I prefer to get the kit. It has like extra stuff in it. That's kind of nice. But we will get that video rolling. Definitely want that. Alright, so now for those of you that have big tanks like the TF V12 Beast King, which we have,
Yes.
when you fill this with a new coil, it will suck in at least half of that tank into the coil. That's just because their coils are huge. And you'll have to refill. Do not, and I repeat, do not press the fire button if there is no juice in that coil, because you will burn it and then you cannot use it at all.
Also, it could also light on fire if you do it without it being soaked.
Yes. What?
Another way to make the 15-minute time go slightly down is if you like suck on the
right.
drip
So
tip.
what you can do is if you close your
I don't recommend
vents.
this because I feel like it's going to burn it faster.
No, it doesn't.
Then
No,
you're
not
gonna
with the
restart-
button.
Not pressing the button. Don't press
Just
the
like
button.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just
so you see, you do have vents. Most of them should have vents on the sides here. Notice when I close it.
adjustable vents.
The same goes
That's
for
for
pens
airflow.
too. It works the same way.
Right. So we're gonna close it almost all the way. See, there's like a tiny little bit there, and just
He is not pressing the fire button.
now you can also close it all the way,
You get like no airflow.
and it'll suck the juice into the coil, speeds up the time. Now we're still gonna let it sit.
It's just the safest option.
But yeah, so, and don't like kind of test it, wait the full 15-20 minutes, because if you try and test it, if it's not soaked, it's going to taste horrible, and you may have just screwed your coil over.
And then you'll have to go get a new one and restart.
Yep.
And whatever's in that tank, if you don't have a catch bottle, will just be wasted.
So, for those of you that understand juice,
You know how expensive it gets.
yeah. So a bottle
That's
about
fine.
this big, what is this, like 100 milliliter? 60?
It was 60.
60, yeah, 60 milliliter bottle is anywhere from like $15 to $20.
30 milliliter.
Yeah,
30
this,
milliliters like $10.
yeah. So it's not cheap. Now, depending on how big your mod is, if you have a small pen with a 4 milliliter tank versus a mod tank with 8 milliliter capacity, and how much you use it, that will affect how long your juice lasts. Now, how to tell if your coil is burnt or is burning or going out, whatever you want to say.
You'll taste it first.
You'll taste it first, or you'll smell it. It's going to taste burned. It's going to taste like... for those of you that might understand this, I know it doesn't make too much sense, but if you ever taste a smell, it's going to taste burnt. Kind of like burning paper. Because basically what it's doing is it's burning that cotton. It's basically paper smoke, carcinogens. So you'll taste it for sure. It's going to taste horrible. Juice isn't going to change the taste at all. It's just going to be bad. Tip number 2, how to tell. It's going to be like either brown, black, or just disgusting looking. I already showed them the coil, so they know what that looks like. So if you go back to like the start of the video, you'll see when I showed you the coil that was in my tank, how brown that was. That was because it was burning.
Mine was black because I didn't have the money for a new coil, and I just kept using it until I did.
Yep. So that's the second way you can tell. Third, if it's like leaking horribly, that could, 1, be your seals, or 2, it could be your coils just burned to all heck, and it's not going to hold any juice. It's just going to go straight through and out of your air vents, which that's not fun. What other ways? I'm trying to think.
That's just about it, really, that I'm aware of. If y'all are lost, you can always find another YouTube channel. Like,
Right.
what's the one guy we like to watch?
Oh, there's a lot of guys that we watch.
Yeah, but the guy with the big lumberjack beard.
I know
and the hat.
I know who you're talking about. We'll find out that name
We'll put
through
it.
that channel. We'll put it in the description.
Yeah, he's one of the best YouTubers on vaping
Let me
stuff.
turn it, because like all they can see is your elbow for the past 10 minutes. It's just
Okay.
your elbow.
Well, basically, we'll probably. He said he'll put the link in the description. He's probably one of our favorite YouTubers when it comes to vaping stuff.
Yeah, he's very thorough. Tells all the speculations on it.
And he may even have more information than we do.
Right. Oh,
So
for those of you that saw the T-Priv video, if you're wondering if this is the T-Priv, no, it is not the T-Priv. This mod, I got it on Let Go, $5. I kid you not,
I did
$5.
the research, that's a $120 mod.
Yeah, and it works too. Like,
hold on, you want to put
no
my
issue.
tank on it?
I've been using it a lot, and I have no complaints besides the fact that it always
it
says
hits-
optimizer short.
yeah, so there's some, if it gets too cold or the battery level's too low, it will say atomizer short.
Atomizer.
Atomizer, it's the same. It doesn't matter.
We're not from England.
But
Welcome to America.
generally, most of the time it works. It hits very well. Good, clean hit. Doesn't burn. There we go. Yeah, not bad at all. That's only at 85. This goes up to 150.
These coils, the triple mesh is only rated at 100 at highest, so...
Yeah. So, oh yeah, that is another thing we forgot. Coils do have a rating on the side. So when you have your new coil, you look at the side, it'll say it's rated from one number, and then W, which means watts. So just for example, 80 watts to 150 watts. Now that's a big coil. Depending on the coil size, it's going to be rated differently. It's going to tell you the ohms on there, and then it'll say best between 60 watts to 90 watts. That's when it's going to taste the best.
Oh,
That's when it's going to be the
like-
best, most flavorful. So
Like, see...
let's see here.
Right there. On the side I just...
So, for example, right here. So, let's see if we can get the camera to focus. Anyway, right here it's going to tell you, like for example, this one, it'll have the brand name Smock, go to 0.2 ohms, 70 to 120 watts, best rated at 85 to 105 watts. Now, if you go above the rating for the coil, it will burn it and you will destroy your coil.
Burn
If
it
you go
faster.
below, like say it's rated for 60 and you go to like 30, it's not going to heat it up enough, so it won't burn. Now if you're trying to ghost in class or something, that's a good way to, I guess, hide it, put it down to low wattages. But if you just don't care, or
Basically, you gotta make sure it'll burn the juice where it won't leak and make a mess.
that, and you want it to have the most flavor. So we found with these tanks and tanks about this size, putting it at about 75 to 90 watts gives you the most flavor and lasts the longest. I made this too.
The longest I've got a coil to last was like 4 months, and that was because I had it at 60 the whole time.
Story time here. So I had one of the
Story
original.
time with retards.
Shut up. I had the original coil in this one, and this is way
You
back
did not
when
read it.
I first got it. I didn't read the ratings, so the coil soaked in a lot of juice. It was really good. Worked perfectly. This is when I first got the T-Priv and that tank. So I was doing it at
That's
about
trip or gate
85. Yeah, I'll take it. Doing it at about 85. Doing pretty good. I was like, you know what? Let's see what it's like at 100. Did it. Good for the first hit. Second hit, my fire alarm went off. Any geniuses in the room? Reason being is because that coil was only rated to go up to 90. I didn't know that. To do so, when I was still living at my house, I blamed it on my desktop, one of them that was on my desk, and said it just started smoking. And then got it out the house and all that. Just 2 hits from it rated at 100, the coil was rated at 90, filled the hallway and my room. And set my fire alarms off, because it was burning the coil. It was actual carcinogen
Burning the
paper
cotton.
smoke. Now, my desktop is fine. See, it's right there. Let this guy borrow it because my mom wanted me to throw it away, but I've got about $600 worth of computer parts in there, so not throwing that away.
Get back in.
Shut up. It tastes good.
Yes. There's Airheads. Extreme sour
Yeah.
strip.
This video is sponsored by Airheads.
Not really. Don't say that. You get us in trouble.
We won't get in trouble. We're laughing about it.
I wish it was, though. Airhead, hook me up. I love this candy. Although I'm going to get fat quick. So I have a bag full of candy right here.
Badass.
I'm not deaf fucking.
Anyway, so that'll be it for this video. Hey, we hit 20 minutes.
Hey,
Alright. So, Tyler,
Josh.
and Josh, and Jay from his channel, signing off today. Hope everybody has a wonderful day. We'll see you in the next video.
We are the Jackrabbit. Just kidding. We are the Random.
Shut up. Signing off from We Are the Random. Everybody have a wonderful day.
Good.